CNN's resident fact checker fact-checked Donald Trump's 93-minute RNC speech from last night, the speech that set the record for the longest acceptance speech for a political nominee in America. Also set a record for the most boring speech in America, but we'll get to that after we watch CNN fact-check Donald Trump.
The world was at peace. Our opponents inherited a world at peace and turned it into a planet of war. We're in a planet of war. The whole world was at peace, and now the world is blowing up around us.
This is false. Trump did not achieve world peace when he was president, certainly wasn't at peace when he left office. There were active wars or armed conflicts in dozens of nations in 2020, 51 by one research institution's count, and then 51 again in 2021. Trump handed President Biden ongoing civil wars in Yemen and Syria, of course, an unresolved Israeli-Palestinian conflict, Israeli-Iranian conflict, a war in Ethiopia. I could go on for a while, but I don't have time because there were so many other false claims. So let's adjust some of those, not even all of them. He repeated his usual lie about Democrats having cheated in the 2020 election. It's nonsense. He said crime is going up. The opposite is true. It's gone sharply down in 2023 and early 2024, is now lower than it was under Trump in 2020. He said we have the worst inflation we've ever had. Again, not even close. It is 3% right now. The U.S. record is 23.7%. He said there was no inflation under him. It was low, of course, but not non-existent. It was 8% total for his presidency, 1.4% year over year in the month he left office. He said the price of groceries is up 57% under Biden. It's actually 21%. He said Democrats are proposing to quadruple people's taxes. That is imaginary. He said his tax cut was the largest in American history, not even close again. He said the Biden administration does nothing to stop migrants. Well, the administration tried to get Congress to pass a bill to tighten the border, and after Trump himself helped to kill that bill, Biden took executive action to tighten the border. Trump said he stopped human trafficking. Again, not true. He said China stopped buying oil from Iran under him. Also did not happen. He said foreign governments are deliberately sending criminals and mental health patients to the U.S. as migrants. His own campaign has been unable to provide proof for that. I certainly haven't found any myself. He said we defeated ISIS, 100% of ISIS, in a couple of months. In fact, the ISIS caliphate was declared fully liberated more than 2 years into his presidency. And there were other exaggerations about trade with China, about North Korean missile launches, about gas prices, about IRS agents. So it just went on and on and on in terms of falsehood, just like the speech went on and on and on itself. Jake?
All right, Daniel Dale, thanks so much. And you can read more of CNN's fact checks at cnn.com/factsfirst. Quite a lot for Mr. Dale to handle there. Dan,
after a half an hour of Donald Trump talking about his attempted assassination, he transitioned into the same campaign speech he's been giving for years. Donald Trump is so lazy and incompetent, and there's nothing behind his run for the presidency except to keep himself out of jail. There are no real goals, no real plans, and it really reflects in Donald Trump just giving the same speech over and over and over and over again. The idea that the assassination attempt changed him. You would think that you would write a new speech after an assassination attempt, but no. I mean, he talked about the assassination attempt, and then it was the same old lie after lie after lie. I loved the zinger from CNN's fact checker there. The lies went on and on, just like the speech did. I mean, I couldn't last throughout the entire thing. I turned it off. Now, I thought it was really kind of interesting in that clip that Jake Tapper was on screen as CNN was doing something beneficial for the country after Jake Tapper was the moderator for the 2024 Biden-Trump debate. And he just let Donald Trump get away with lie after lie. And then, of course, Jake Tapper throws it to Dana Bash, the other moderator for the debate. So it's really frustrating watching CNN do something good for the country like this, fact-checking Donald Trump on all of his lies, but they've also enabled this monster just like they did during the 2024 Biden-Trump debate. Now, let's get to another clip of a couple of pundits on CNN, David Axelrod and Van Jones, talking about the Trump speech.
This is the first good thing that's happened to Democrats in the last 3 weeks. I mean, this really reminded everyone why Donald Trump is fundamentally unpopular outside this room.
He had the whole world in his hands. If he had just stayed with that unity message, he might have caused some problems, but he just could not help himself. If Biden had given a speech that incoherent, that rambling, that undisciplined, Democrats would have hit Biden with a tranquilizer dart and drug him off. So we're now back into a normal campaign dynamic where Trump took what was the most energetic convention and he was boring. He took the most disciplined convention. He was undisciplined. He basically was the worst part of his own convention. And so that actually is the first good thing that's happened for Democrats. The other thing I'll say is this. 10 minutes of unity talk off the teleprompter, followed by rabid attacks on Nancy Pelosi, on Joe Biden, and talking about Hannibal Lecter. That is not a new Trump. They made a big mistake by overselling this transformation. There has been no transformation. This is Donald Trump, and welcome back to the campaign now.
David Axelrod there makes a great point in that this was a gift to Democrats at a time when it seemed as though Trump was gaining momentum. And then he opened his mouth and he reminded us all of just how terrible he is, which is great knowing that, you know, like I said before in this video, Trump is incompetent and lazy. And so he's not going to really make any effort to try to grow the tent that is the mega cult. No, he's just going to talk about the same fear-mongering, we're under attack, yada, yada, yada. Joe Biden is a terrible person, which will not resonate with Americans in November. Now, Van Jones was also pretty funny, talking about how if Biden were to be on stage, the DNC would hit him with a tranq dart and drag him off. But seriously, we don't have to worry about that because Joe Biden would never give a speech like that. Just so awkward and cringy. Joe Biden has been on a tear the past few weeks since the debate. Speech after speech, he has been tearing the roof off the place. Now, we have the DNC coming up, which I think is going to be Joe Biden's the event where he makes the final turn and really pushes towards a win in November, because I think Biden is going to give a great speech at the DNC, and the DNC is just going to be so much better than the Republican National Convention, because the Republican National Convention isn't based on ideas and democracy. It's based on Donald Trump and all the lies that he tells. Every single speech that I heard from the RNC were basically just snippets from Donald Trump's main speech. They just took apart and kind of expanded on what Donald Trump talks about all the time. The DNC isn't going to be like that, because the DNC and the Democratic Party is a party of ideas and plans moving forward to make the country better for everyone. They actually have plans. And there's also a secret weapon that the DNC is going to use, and it happens to be a week before the convention, and that's the Olympics. The Olympics end on August 11th, and the DNC starts on August 19th. So the country is going to be more united than any time, because sport and the Olympics bring us all together, because Americans dominate the Olympics. So the fact that Joe Biden and Democrats are going to be able to ride that momentum, I think is going to really help Joe Biden in November. And he's not going to give a 93-minute speech in which he talks about Hannibal Lecter. So let me know what your thoughts are of Donald Trump's incredibly boring speech, and what you think the DNC will look like. I'm Brendan Plank with Reflect. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, so you get my next videos about the election in your inbox. I'll see you in the next one.